25 million. That's how many copies were sold in 1991 of Tina Turner's Greatest Hits album. Listen very closely to hear about her life story. Today I will talk to you about Tina Turner growing up, her life and marriage with Ike Turner and their growing popularity, her music, and how she lives today. Tina Turner's birth name was Anna Mae Bullock. She was born in Nutbush, Tennessee on November 26, 1939. Her father owned a farm there, but they didn't have much to live by. Her mom and her sister Adeline moved to St. Louis when she was around 5 and never came back. When Tina was around 16, she went to St. Louis to live with her mom and sister after her grandmother died. This was a very big impact for Tina since she was pretty much raised by her. Tina went to school and completed it. Her mother was leaning for her to go to med school. Her sister was a regular at a 5-star nightclub in St. Louis. Tina always wanted to go, but her sister would never let her. When she turned 17, her sister finally let her go, and she started listening to the fast-paced music and loved it. That's when the leader, Ike Turner of the Kings of Rhythm, came out, and he did this thing where he would pull people from the stage, let them dance and sing, and when he heard Tina's voice, he fell in love. He asked her to join the Kings of Rhythm, and she practiced every night and every day, but never ever told her mother, which her name was Zelma. Her mother found out and didn't like the idea. She said she wanted her to go to med school. Ike told her, how many times have you heard about a black woman in a med school? Her mother thought that was right. Ike told her that he wanted to give her pretty things and wanted to treat her like a big brother. Her mom liked that idea. After all, she was getting paid by Ike too. Ike knew Tina was going to find someone better to love her and treat her better with more talent, so he married her. She had 1 child with him and still had to take care of his other 2 kids from his previous marriage. They moved to California and they started making more music. That's when they made Fool in Love, and it hit number 27 on the pop charts and number 2 on the R&B charts. That's when Ike started getting more abusive, and when they made Proud Mary, he didn't like the way that she sang it. He didn't like how she was doing the rhythm, the dynamics, and it bothered him. So whenever she did something wrong, he would beat her or physically abuse her or verbally abuse her. One night, going into Dallas, they fought on the plane, but it was a very minor fight. Once they got into Dallas, they landed and went to a limo. He started fighting her and saying, don't talk back to me. Tina finally thought, I'm fighting back. She didn't want to live this life. She wanted to live somewhere where she was free and able to be herself. So she started hitting him back. She knew that if she started hitting him back, he would fight back harder, but it was worth it. She said that she felt free and was able to leave him. When they got to the hotel, she got into the bathroom and broke down. She saw herself and saw how bad she looked. Ike was sleeping, so she ran out and ran down the street to the Ramada. All she had was 36 cents and a gas card on her, but she swore she would pay him back. He said, no, it's fine. It's an honor to have you here. In the beginning, Tina's music showed harsh times and harsh realities. Think about Nutbush City. That was her story. But over the years, her story has changed, and her music reflected those changes. Published by the Rolling Stones, December 2nd, 2010. She divorced Ike and gave up everything but her name. She said she has worked too hard for that name. The lawyer said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "I'm positive." She laid low for about a year until she started doing Buddhism. She started practicing it with one of her backup dancers when she was with Ike. Finally, in February 1979, she made a song called Root Toot Undisputable, but failed to hit the charts. Later, people were starting to wonder where Ike was. No one knew where he was. We didn't know if he was dead or alive. Published by Spin Magazine, July 13th, 2015. Tina started going with people like David Bowie, Olivia Newton-John, and Elton John, and very many more. In 1980, she formed a new band, and by the summer of 81, she was ready to perform. She was back to herself, and she was better than ever. She made #1 hits such as What's Love Got to Do With It, Proud Mary, Private Dancer, and Nutbush City. A movie was called What's Love Got to Do With It, based on her biography called I, Tina, Her movie starred Angelina Bassett as herself and Lawrence Fishburne as Ike. The story of Tina's rise and fall with Ike is well known. You can see what it is like in her movie, but I believe that it's time to put that story to rest. When she came back in the 80s, she was bigger and better without Ike. Published by the Rolling Stones, again December 2nd, 2010. Tina did her last big concert in 2008 at the Grammys with Beyonce in 2013. She announced that she was engaged to Aaron Bach when he was 57, she was 73. Today I talked to you about Tina growing up, her life and marriage with Ike Turner, and her growing popularity, her music, and how she lives today. She once said that it's never ever late to give up on your dreams.